Tables, florist. Hey, flower friends, it is your friend in flowers, Lisa. And look, how beautiful is this? Cut flower kale, y'all. How beautiful. And look at the stem length. All right. Suzanne's taking them away from me. Hey, flower friends. Welcome to today's show, and we have so much going on today, y'all. We're going to talk about learning more about your first expected frost and what that kind of pushes into action. Of course, seed starting with soil blocking. What's blooming still here on the farm. Susie Q is going to be doing the bouquet studio. I'll be sharing the details on the special offer for one of our big courses, Farmer Florist School, the wedding process. And for in-app viewers, we're going to have our drawing this week also. And friends, I don't know if you've heard, but we have seed grab bags that are 70% off. Don't miss that opportunity. And then, as always, at the end of the show, I'll answer a couple of questions. And so if you have a question that you'd like for me to try to answer for you, put @Lisa in the comments and then type your question. And the team gathers those up and then feeds me a few of them. So friends, we know that y'all are sharing the word about our live gardening show because we have new people every single week. And we want to thank you for that. And there is a share button down at the bottom of your screen in the app where you can invite your friends to come over to the live gardening show. And I want to just thank you for doing that. I also want to remind everybody that when you're placing your order that you check your email and your phone number for accuracy. We have typos every week and we can't ship you your package if we don't have a good address for the tracking ticket, right? So if you have just seen me here on social media and we're just connecting for the first time, I want to invite you to get our free phone app, the shop app, because inside the app you have so much more fun. Actually, first off, when you're inside the app, you can participate in the giveaway, which is like the bonus, right? You can also then participate in the Q&A. You can submit questions, as well as, you can carry on with the other live viewers in the comments, which is always super fun. The phone app is free. Go to your phone's app store, search Gardener's Workshop, and we actually have two apps. You're looking for the shop app, download it, and and pop in, and you'll find us sitting here ready and waiting for you. Won't take but about 60 seconds. And so when you're on Facebook or Instagram and you comment, we can't see your comments. We can't communicate with you. So, and we also, in app only, y'all, this is only available in the app, special shipping rates. First off, if you do a seed packet only order, we pay the shipping in the app only. There's also a cap on product shipping, meaning it doesn't matter how many products you purchase, you pay one flat fee of $11.95 in the app only. And we do ship to all 50 of the United States with no international shipping available. Now, at every show it happens. We sell out of something that we're talking about. So if you go to a product and it says out of stock, right below that it'll say get notified. And you might want to hit that and get notified when we restock, because frequently the team is bringing over more stock from our big website. And so friends, if you see people posting the emoji of the sunflower, that's from our logo. And that is what we call the TGW family. And they're throwing love balls at us, y'all. That is what that is all about. And we love when they do it. And who is our family? Those are our online course students, as well as the members of my private flower farming club. And we just love seeing that and love that y'all do that. Now, we do have a giveaway. So the giveaway this week is our in-app $25, here it is, credit to one lucky viewer inside the app. So hit that button, and that'll put you on the list that we'll select that from at the end of the show, and you have to be here to actually claim it, right? All right, so tip of the day, what do you need to know about your first expected frost? So the basics, basically, the first expected frost date is when you're finally going to hit the magic number of 32 or below. And when that happens, it ends the days for your tender annuals, right? Your sunflowers, well, maybe not sunflowers, zinnias, and all of your warm season stuff and your tomatoes. It can not just damage them, but it can actually kill them. And so how do you find out when is your first expected fall frost? You can enter into any search engine that exact question with your zip code. My zip code is XYZ. When is my first expected frost? And that's based on historic history of like the last 10 years or so, right? And so this past Monday, we had our first potential frost coming. And so I'm just going to tell you the things that I kind of jumped into action to do. First off, I knew it was coming because my eye is to the weather app all the time this time of the year, watching for rain, frost temperatures, and I knew that my historic first frost is mid-November, November 15th. And so I already knew that I had my pieces in place, right? And I already knew in my mind and had made a list of what I wanted to cover, meaning with floating row cover, and those things that were susceptible to a problem, right? So the first frost is a signal to jump into action to protect your garden, right? So the floating row cover that we use we call it the floating row cover because it is the lightest of all the covers. It provides 4 degrees of extra protection. And if you have seedlings that you've planted, just cool flowers, for instance, that are newly planted, they all benefit from just a little bit of protection. So this is called floating because it's light enough to be used without hoops. So you can lay it directly on the plants. If you need hoops for longer term use, you can get those over at thegardenersworkshop.com. Now this comes in a couple of sizes. They're all 6.5 feet wide. A 20-footer is $12.95. A 50-footer is $26.95. Even larger sizes are available over on our website site, and it's super easy to cut if you buy a big one and then want to cut it into smaller pieces. All right, anchor bags. This is what we hold the row cover down with. This is what it looks like when it's full, y'all. It's about 15 pounds. That's the weight that really works to hold the row cover down. And here's a picture of it in use. That's the insect netting. I use the anchor bags to hold down silage tarps, insect netting, and row cover. This is at the end, and I always have 3 bags on each end, and then I put a bag at the foot of every hoop or every 10 to 12 feet down your row cover application. So they come to you like this, and you can fill them with soil, sand, gravel. It's got an opening at one end. It's got a string that you can tie it up with. You can get a 10-pack for $10.95, a 30-pack for $29.57, or a 60-pack for $52.56. And remember, when frost is coming, don't forget your potted plants outside too, if they need protection, right? So your frost date is a planning tool. It's our life revolves around those first and last frost dates. And for instance, something else that you might want to do before frost hits is to get all your tomatoes off the vine, whether they're ripe or not. You do know that green tomatoes will ultimately ripen indoors, right? So you need to get all of them before the frost hits. The other thing I did is I walked through my garden one last time thinking, what can I cut that's going to get whacked by the cold temperatures, right? And so the other thing I want to just mention is have your supplies before you need them. We get panic phone calls all the time at the Gardener's Workshop. Oh my gosh, frost is coming tonight and my stuff that I ordered yesterday isn't here yet. Friends, you have to think much further in advance. And in fact, allowing 1 to 2 months, because the hoops particularly are an odd size, they take so much longer in the shipping train to get to you. And you just don't want to be waiting on those. You should have those before the cold comes, is what I'm getting at here, right? All right, so y'all, if you've been here before, you know what this is, right? This is the proof from the printer of our big calendar journal. And this is what's going to really help you to find your planting windows. So this is the cover of the calendar. And the second page in has all the instructions that you need to find I have 9 planting windows explained out here with the equation. And then everything you need to plan your calendar for those planting windows that then lead you to your seed starting list. It's all included with the calendar, and look how big each month is. Sorry, y'all. This is not bound like it's going to be when we get them from the printer. So look how big each day. This is 1 day's square. And it gives you plenty of place. I give you my tips on what I write in here and how I do that. And it really makes it to become a journal, which is the best planning tool I have ever had. Now, it is on pre-order available. We're shipping it this winter. It's going to be $39.95 plus shipping, and all pre-orders will be invited to a free workshop of me walking you through those 9 planting windows. So friends, get on board with this so you can get an invitation to the free workshop. Now, my sis is going to run through all of these tools that she loves so very, very much. Take it away, sister.
Hey, guys. So, tools. If we're talking tools this time of year, we're talking gifts. One of our favorites is the Hori Hori. Hori Hori has the serrated edge so you can cut perennial roots or split plants, but it's perfect for harvesting things out of the soil that you wouldn't use your other tools for. Like you can dig a rock up with this. The blade goes all the way up into the handle. It's very heavy duty. It has this great leather pouch that you could put on a belt if you wanted to. Men love this. It's a great heavy duty forever kind of tool. The Hori Hori is $46.95. And again, anybody that gets that would be very, very pleased to have that as a gift. Next up, we have our sod knives. These are our little sod knives. They are just the best tool. I've used mine a lot recently because I was planting and I had compost bags and things that I needed to open. Once you get it out of the package, they're easy to open. It's serrated. It reminds me of those Ginzu commercials when I was a kid. The very, very sharp. I'm about to cut my finger. And so they'll cut right through. We use this for cutting roots again, splitting plants. You can use this to harvest greens. Lisa gets twine off the tractor and the tiller with this, as well as opening bags. I just find that I always have this in my hand. So this is the 2.5 inch. It's $9.95. Or there's a 4 1/4 inch. It's also $9.95. And if you buy the two together, there's a 5% savings. So look for that as well. But these are the best gifts. If you get the bundle, you could keep one for yourself and give one to someone else. And it's so handy to have. They're great to have around. So next we have the serrated scoop.
I love that thing.
Lisa loves this thing. It's serrated on the edges. It has the measurements here if you're trying to plant your seeds or bulbs a certain depth. And it is the deal of the day. It's 20% off. And that makes it $20.76. Wow. And it's just so useful to scoop up soil, to plant up your pots, to scoop up the hellebore babies and replant them like Lisa does. $20.76, a great gift, and it's a great size too.
I mean, that would be a great container.
Yeah, it's
tool.
a great container tool. This is also my other great container tool. This is the giant scoop, no serrated, but it's nice and flat. I have one of those big gigantic scoops, but when you're working in a container, it tends to give you too much soil and it just falls all out the side of the container. So this just keeps it the perfect amount to get in around your plants when you're potting up or planting a container. So this one is $18.95. There's a non-latex grip on this one. And you could just keep it in your bag of soil or wherever you're going to be scooping out. And we just love it. $18.95, another great price point for a gift for anyone that uses any of those things. This is our cute little scoop. Now this little scoop, perfect to me, is those little bird feeders that you have to put the little seed in. So this makes it perfect. It doesn't all go all over the place. So this is another deal of the day, 20% off. It's $6.36. What a great little stocking stuffer. You could put something in it and put a ribbon around it. It would be a really pretty gift.
They say it's a pet scoop, but I want to say Tucker votes no.
Yes.
That he wants more.
This is a small pet scoop, not a Tucker size. And it's made in the UK, so it's really good quality. And again, $6.36. What a great deal.
You can even tie it to something.
Yeah, it's got a little hole here so you can tie a string to it so you don't lose it when you're using it. It's 1 cup, yes. So if you have a small pet, 1 cup. All right, next we have our wicked waterers. So our wicked waterers are great if you are going out of town or if you're just a neglectful plant owner like I am. So this is like a shoestring. It's just a cotton string. And this end you stick down in your plant, and then the other end you put in a bowl of water. However long you're gone, the bigger bowl of water you want. This also has this little knob here you can turn to let more water or less water in. So you want to do it a few days before you go away so you know if it drinks all the water out of your bowl in a day, you want to cut that sucker down a little bit. So this has four strings and 4 valves. Is that right? Oh, you have 2 extra wicks in there as well. $12.76. Perfect gift for anyone that has plants, or if you're planning on traveling this holiday season, you certainly want to get some for yourself.
That'd be perfect for poinsettias that we're bringing home.
Yes, exactly. Next, we have our Japanese hand hoe, and this is, we've sold these forever. One of our favorite things that we use here on the farm, and I use at home. And we had to get a left-handed one for our niece Kelly, who's left-handed, so they started making them left-handed for us. This is the right-handed hoe, and the way you use this, it's really sharp, is you want to sink it down in the soil an inch, inch and a half, and then pull it like you're pulling a knife through butter sideways. You want to cut through there. And what happens is you're only disturbing the soil in the top inch or so of the weed seeds in the top inch or so of soil. So after a few weeks of doing this once a week, there's not any weeds left because you have already let all of the seeds in the top inch or so germinate and you've whacked them. But when you dig up lots of soil like this and pile it up, it continually just lets more weed seeds come to the surface. So you're going to continually have to weed over and over and over. Also great for large weeds or to draw a trough to plant seeds in. It just has multiple uses and it's very sharp. And again, left or right-handed, they're $29.95. Great price point, works for anyone that has a yard. Okay, perfect gift. All right, next we have our Joyce chins.
Suzanne's favorite.
If you've not heard me talk about my Joyce chins, these are just the sharpest scissors I've ever used. You can use them to cut a chicken. You can use them to cut ribbon. I cut my dog's hair around her paws with this, and it just works great. I covet these at my house. I hide them so that no one else can use them. Prefer not to cut paper because that dulls scissors very easily, but these are just so sharp. And of course, flower arrangers love them, and they use them to cut the ends of their flowers as they're making arrangements. The Joyce chins are also on the deal of the day, 20% off, $28.76. I got a pair of these not too long ago for my daughter, and she's like, "You got me Joyce chins?" I mean, that's the feeling you get with it, folks. No one will be disappointed if they get a pair of Joyce chins in their stocking. Okay, next we have our Bloom Saver, and this one is empty. But we love these. They're great to take out in the garden if you're going to harvest some flowers. They have shorter side so that you can have your small little short ones in there. Susie's bringing over. I've stole some flowers for my bouquet studio today, so we're just going to show you with the flowers. Tall, short, they all fit in there. And the best part is, because it has 3, they don't tip over in the car. So this is perfect to take if you're going to pick up flowers from the farmer's market or from a retail place. You can put it in your car and water in all 3 of these, make it nice and sturdy so it doesn't tip over. These are made in the USA, and they're $61.95, and they are a forever gift. Ladies from the garden clubs would often get puffy paints and decorate them so they could tell them apart because everybody had one. And this is just something you'll always have, and it's a perfect gift for anyone that loves flowers. So get yours while they last. Tool belt. So this is our little tool belt, and it has this canvas cotton belt that you wrap around, because if you've ever tried to wear a leather belt when it's 100 degrees outside, it is very hot. So this is nice and cool. You can put your clippers, your phone, your bottle of water, and then what we do is we slip it around to the back so it doesn't impede us bending over. And it just works great. It lets you have everything at your fingertips. The tool belt is also one of the deals of the day. It's $18.36. Again, anyone that is gardening or working in their yard or really doing anything that they need to have tools for are gonna love this.
New tip, sister.
Okay.
You know what? What I've decided, because I used one the other day, is when it's getting cold outside and you got multiple I'm layered up, right? Having this doesn't bother me because I'm not hot, and I can put my phone, my clippers, my saw, everything in here.
I don't know if you've seen my clippers on the side, but I've been fighting with my coat.
Yep.
The whole time, every time I go to grab
So this is a winter tool.
Right, so this is a great winter tool holder. That's a great idea, sister. So the $18.36, perfect gift. This is our kitchen composter. And the great thing about this is it has a nice tight lid, does not have a filter, because guess what? You shouldn't be putting stinky stuff in your compost anyway, and you should be emptying it every few days, so you shouldn't be having anything stinky. You only want to put like greens and things, not anything that has fat in it or meat, and anything that has a rind, you want to chop that up very fine or it won't break down as easy. But this compost bucket is the perfect size. Some people put bird seed or dog food in it.
Yeah.
And it's $15.95, and it's just a good quality. This is from the UK, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's from the UK. Let's see. Yep, made in England. Very good quality, and we just find a ton of uses. 2.5 gallons, and perfect for the compost. All right, next we're going to have a seed starting demonstration, and does anybody know who's going to do that?
Hey friends, so I just want to share, that we're still planting plants here at the Gardener's Workshop. These are actually the leftover Rudbeckia trilobas that we had a big tray of. Bobo's planted them out in the garden, and this is what's left. And I'm going to be planting these out in our new habitat island. This is 40 plants on this little tray. They're growing up in the small 3/4 inch block. Look how happy and healthy these are. These are so old, y'all. These were started, I looked last night and figured this out. I think it's September 3rd. Normally I would not have plants this old, but they were leftovers. But look how happy and healthy they are. That's what I really want to point out. Super space savvy. So, do you want me to demo first? All right, so we have some of our ready-made mix here that's already been moistened. This is the soil blocker. This is the one that I use the majority of the time. And I push it down into the mix. I made that pile too deep. And I typically push it in twice. I just want to be sure that the chambers are nice and full. This is a potato masher, y'all. That's what I use to strike off the excess on the bottom. And now we use flat bottom trays with no drainage holes, which means you can do this anywhere in your home. And then you place it on the tray and give it a squeeze, and look at that. We just made 20 little containers. And then the rest of the story is no different than any other seed starting process. You sow the seeds, following directions, and do everything else just the same. Put them on heat, then do a grow light, then harden them off, and then plant them. It just goes faster in soil blocks because they're not in a container. So how can you get started? Number one kit we have sold since 2005 is the Soil Block Maker Kit. It is 19% off when you buy it as a kit versus buying the stuff separately. So it includes a blocker. This is from the original made in the UK Ladbroke quality tool. And it includes a bag of our ready-made mix. This is 6 quarts, which will make about 500 to 600 of those little teeny blocks, y'all. And it comes with your choice of either 3 cool season seeds or 3 warm season seeds. You make that selection at checkout. It also includes my Seed Starting Made Easy online course that teaches you how to start, how to grow them up, how to harden them off, how to get them in the garden, everything. You have lifetime unlimited access to that. It also includes a set of 5 of our large trays that holds 3 sets of 20. It has our aluminum non-static seed pan, the toothpicks and a toothpick holder. That's how we actually sow the seeds. And these little wooden plant markers that I actually use for tools to mess around with my soil blocks. So you get all of this, y'all, all of it for $89.87 with $11.95 shipping. There's just no better way to get started. And, if you have a gardening person on your gift list, it'll change their world. It just led me straight into becoming a flower farmer. I went from a dud seed starter to an overnight success when I started soil blocking, and you can do that too. All right, y'all, here is one of my favorite tools, and it's another winter tool job. This is a sifter or sieve, and it fits perfectly on a 5-gallon bucket, which means you make no mess. And we recommend sifting everything. Our ready-made mix, all the ingredients if you're making your own at home. The chunks are where the biology, the microorganisms live. You need those chunks in there, but you don't need them in your seed starting mix. Put that stuff in your containers or out in your garden. So this is $24.95, fits on your 5-gallon bucket, and you'll find that you'll sift everything for seed starting, which is exactly what makes seeds, those little teeny seeds, very, very happy. So we offer the reusable foam trays in 3 different sizes. This is the mini. They all come in 25 packs, but a 5-pack is $1.95, holds 1 cluster of 20. The small size reusable foam tray holds 2 sets of 20 or 2 sets of 4, the 2-inch blocks. And then here's the one that comes in the kit. This will hold 3 sets of 20. This is $3.95, and they're all, just use them over and over and over again. Now, the piece that I think that most people are missing with seed starting is, y'all, the seedling heat mat, and here's why. Seeds need a signal when to wake up and sprout, right? And temperature is what that's all about. And if your house is 70 degrees, most seeds sprout best 75 to 85 degrees. And you're thinking, well, I'm close enough. That is your air temperature, friends. That temperature of that mass of soil is 15 to 20 degrees cooler than the air temperature. So if your house is 70, that means your soil temperature is 50 to 55 degrees, which explains why nothing sprouts. The seedling heat mat, which has a built-in thermostat, guess what? Heats up 15 to 20 degrees warmer, than the air temperature. So it makes up for that difference, right? The seedling heat mat is $39.95, and that'll get you sprouting like nobody's tomorrow. Now, just a reminder, y'all, if you haven't already hit the button to get on the list for the giveaway, you have to be in the app, and we will pull this at the end of the show, and you have to be here to claim your prize. So hit that button.
Really being put on a wait list, and that's the list we pull from.
Okay, so it says you're being put on a wait list, and that's the list we actually pull from, okay? All right, and remember, if you have a question you'd like to ask, You can put at Lisa in a comment and type your question, and we will gather all those up at the end of the show and answer a few of them. I just want to tell you a little bit about one of our big courses, which I think is one of the treasures of our online courses, is on a special offer. And it's the Farmer Florist School, The Wedding Process with Jenny Love. The course is normally $695, which is a bargain at that price. It is $200 off through Saturday night at midnight. So it's now $495. Tonight, we have a little special event going on. And what time is that? That was last night. You can watch the rerun on YouTube, actually. Sorry, you can go in and watch it and actually go inside the course and have a look around. You can go to her information page at thegardenersworkshop.com, all about her course and everything that's included, as well as requesting a little sneak peek inside. But I just want to tell you that this course has 6 classes. Each class has multiple sessions. One whole class is on marketing. That marketing class is worth the fee for the course, which of course you own, lifetime ownership, unlimited. She gives you contracts. It's not an arrangement course. It's about the business of doing events and weddings, and it's got pricing information. So please go and check it out. And now Susie Q is going to take us away with the bouquet studio.
Hey guys, so we're getting into fall. Finally, love it. So I thought we would do a little arrangement. A customer brought me a picture a few years back and asked if we could help her do this for an event. And we did, and it was using apples, and I loved it. So we're gonna incorporate some apples into our arrangement today. We're gonna use our floral netting, which comes like this. It's 12 inches by 48 inches, and it's $13.95. And I'm just going to undo this. I'm hoping this piece is big enough. I think it'll be plenty big. And you can cut it to size. This is not the full thing. This has been cut on a couple of times. But because we have some heavy things like apples, you just want to make sure when you crumple it up that it goes into your container really tight so that it doesn't move around. So I'm just going to ball this up and see if we can't shove it down in this container. And again, you want it to be really snug so that whatever you put in there doesn't fall. Okay, so Lisa went on a walkabout and cut everything that was going to be zapped by the frost. So I just picked out a few of those and we're going to do them. But for my base, I'm going to use this beautiful cabbage, and it's just gorgeous. And I'm just going to move this so you can see the top of this container a little bit better. It might be easier to see the top.
There goes my long stem.
Yep, the long stem is gone, and I'm hoping that these guys, the wire is big enough. This wire will hold some pretty good sized stems, and these stems are really fat, so there you go. And I'm just guessing at cutting these.
They're like using sunflowers, aren't they? They're kind of
Yeah, they're kind of big. And I will put water in this. I just didn't put water in it yet. So we're going to stick some of these in. We're going to get some of the purple and kind of make a little base around the edge.
Looks like you're building a bird's nest.
Yeah, I am. And these may be too tall, too long, not sure. Just kind of feeling my way. I've never actually done this in this container before, so there you go. Can y'all see better that way, or you want to come down here? Maybe that'll be better. So I'm going to put a few of these in. And this netting is pretty forgiving. You can push it and it'll give away to where you want it to be so that you can make things the height you want when you're putting them in at an angle. So isn't that pretty? And then look at these.
Those were the scraps.
Cosmo scraps. And I just love the fuzziness. So we're just going to try to use this. Let me see if I can get this to fit down in there the way I want it the way I envision. Because when I just cut it, that cut a lot of the stuff off. But we're going to try to... It really does look like a nest now, sister. Probably be a little bit shorter. And then, lo and behold, what do we still have left but hairy balls? Love a hairy ball. So we're going to put some of these in there.
You know, what a conversation starter hairy balls are.
It is. I gave these, I had an event at my house for some officials that my husband works with, and sports officials. And I had flowers on the table, and of course I had to put hairy balls in it. And I gave one of the little arrangements to one of the fellas to take home because it was his wife's birthday. And later he told my husband, he said she loved the flowers, but she says, I'm not touching those hairy balls. All right, so there we have some hairy balls. We've got some pink going. Woo, nice stem. And then we did have a few snapdragons left. This is Madam Butterfly, one of my favorites.
Those are the ones we planted for fall bloom, and it worked, y'all.
Yep, they were planted for fall blooms. It's a little bit too tall. Okay, come back out. So just bring some of that beautiful color out. And here we have another one. This one I think is Opus, is it, sister?
Yeah.
This is Opus, same color family.
So I planted group 1 and 2s of snapdragons because they will set bloom even on short days, which is exactly what fall is all about.
All right, let's see if I can get this one down in. And then we're going to start stuffing some apples. And Susie got me some red delicious apples. You can get green apples. You can do whatever you want. But I'm just going to stick a sphere. This is a pick that is a floral arranging pick. You could also use just a what do you call the ones you cook with? You know, the skewer. You could use a skewer. And I'm just going to cut this stem so it's about where I want it to be. Here, I guess I could do this in the front. Just about where I want it to be. You can always recut. And this is just wood. I'm using the clippers to cut it. And it just goes right through the wire and sits where you want it. I'll do the next one just a little bit taller.
I think green apples would be beautiful too, mixed in even.
Yep. So there's just all kinds of, you could also do gourds or anything like that. Anything you could stick this through. And gourds sometimes might be a little more difficult because they're hard. So you could just, I took my clipper and just, made a little hole in the gourd before we stuck it down in there. But you can do them different heights, and you just want there to be some greenery around it. Now, to make this, you can make this just a few colors, but I did decide to bring in
Look at that.
some,
Wait, show that stem. Show
see how long this is?
That's Opus.
And this was planted for
Fall
blooms.
Yeah.
So we get a little, these are electric kind of colors, huh? Sister, we can't forget to put water in this. And just a tip, because I'm using a metal container, I will not be putting any flower food in here. Flower food in metal containers is like a really bad science experiment. So if you're using metal containers, you either want to get a plastic liner if possible, if you plan to use flower food with it, or just use water and change the water very regularly.
Or you can put another container in a container.
Yeah, you can put a container in containers. True that.
Show that one. That's called not netting it, y'all.
Yeah, this wasn't netted. It's left turn Larry. Left turn, right turn Larry.
It's the perfect color.
And it is the perfect color. And I'm going to stick him right in front, and he is going to cascade over. So if you needed one like this, you know what to do. Don't net it.
People are asking about snapdragons for fall blooms.
That one doesn't
That's
look good.
one of the things that I have the planting timing on the calendar, but literally, y'all, it's how many days to bloom? When is your first frost? You add 30 days to the days from seed to bloom.
Okay.
And count backwards, and that's what I did. And
he didn't want to stay there. He had to go up top. So I also had a few sunflowers, but I'm feeling like this is nice and fall, but I'm feeling like I have this going on in here. So we're going to try to stick a sunflower down in there. And again, you can keep it as simple. You can just have a few flowers, have the the cabbage, and then put the
You could have a farmer's market booth full of all the stuff that you're using in these bouquets. You know what I mean?
Yep.
It's like this is all fall blooming, you know, ready to roll. And there was other stuff out there that I just we're not even using in this, that you'll see in the bouquet, in the flower lineup.
So just have fun and don't be afraid to try things. And this crumple netting, you can see you can take any container and just turn it into an arrangement. Voila.
Look how pretty that is.
We just need to remember to put water. I'm going to put water in it right now, guys. Thanks for joining us. And Lisa's going to talk about, what are you talking about next?
Showing our flowers.
Okay, going to show. I guess I'll need to help her, so I better hurry. All right, I'm getting out of your way.
So I want to, to the question that somebody asked about starting those seeds, it is really that simple, y'all, about counting. That's why the big calendar saved my life for that. I never, ever had stuff for fall harvest. I never had second and third successions because I lost track, and you get so overwhelmed whether you're gardening or farming. The calendar that you fill out in the middle of winter when your brain is clear, right, and you're kind of on your game, is when you fill out all this information on the calendar that actually is going to guide you all throughout the season. And I just want to say it is that simple. I never got my biennial started on time. I never got the cut flower kale started. Stuff for fall blooms like the cool season hardy annuals. And that's the medicine, the cure for that disease is the calendar. I kid you not. And so, where are we? Okay, so I don't know if y'all know this or not, but I don't actually purchase bulk seed anymore here for the farm. We stopped doing that about 3 years ago. We actually get our seeds that we start all these plants from that you see the flowers of. We send a list up to the warehouse, the very same place that your seeds are coming from. And I actually love that. I love that I'm using the same seeds that I know you're using. We love checking seed counts and packets, germination rate, just reconfirming everything because it's really, really important to us. So, out of the gate, did y'all know we have seed grab bags? Another thing about us is because we are constantly packing seeds, we don't sit on old seeds at all. And so there are no old seeds at the Gardener's Workshop. However, we put 2025 seeds on sale now, which are perfectly good, especially if you store them right, and we'll talk about that in a minute, for a couple more years. They are 70% off. And no, you're not going to know. That's why they're called a grab bag. But they're all our great seeds. So, are these the regular pack?
Yes.
Okay, so we have two different kinds of grab bags. We have regular seed packet size. You can get the sunflower seeds, have 6 individual packets of sunflowers for $10.71. That's 70% off, y'all. We have a 6-pack of warm season seeds, 6-pack for $8.91. Cool season, the very same thing. And then we also have the jumbo warm season seeds 6-packs for $23.31, and that is 70% off, y'all. And then we also have a vegetable grab bag, which is $8.91. And so many of these have already flown off the shelves. That is what's remaining. And y'all, they're awesome. It's just a great savings. And if nothing else, give them for Christmas presents, y'all. It's just get a pair of gloves and a pack of seeds. Now, how are you going to store those seeds? We use desiccant packs. We recommend that you store your seeds cool and dry. This will help absorb any condensation or humidity or anything like that. And so it comes in a 2-pack for $2.95 or a 10-pack for $9.95. And we just always have these ready and available. There's a great blog on our website. Go to gardenersworkshop.com, go to free resources, go to the blog, and then just put in storage or store, S-T-O-R-E, because the name of the blog is Store Seeds Longer. And it's a simple step-by-step of what you need to do, and it'll keep your seeds viable for so much longer. Here were the grab bags I was supposed to show you, y'all. All right, first up, look what is still coming out. And I will tell you that out in the field, these still look great. We haven't hit 32 yet, but we have hit 34 degrees. And the ageratum still looks great. I'm a little crooked there, sis.
What's new?
Look how beautiful this stuff is. And look at the stem length. These were cut off. And so Blue Horizon Ageratum, a warm season tender annual, just makes all your other fall colors just really, really pop. Now, here is a perfect fall crop. Y'all, this is the Chedi Mix marigolds. It's got gold. This is gold, orange, and yellow. You can also get these in individual colors of the cocoa mix, which is a different variety. But marigolds are made for fall. And friends, I don't know if you saw the opening, and I'll be posting all about this through the weekend. I got some great video this morning of the cut flower kale that I cut this morning. Look at, this is the cut flower kale crane is the series, and this is the white. Look at the stem length, y'all. These are absolutely amazing. Started in soil blocks, 6 seeds to a 2-inch block. Each block spaced 6 inches apart with all 6 in there. And this is what you get. Absolutely amazing. That's my favorite color because it goes with everything, right? Then this is the rose. Look how pretty these are, y'all. Look at those centers. And stem length is absolutely phenomenal. And what I'm going to show you on the next one, why spacing is so very incredible. So this is the red, okay? But this is why spacing is critical. Look at this one. I got leaves everywhere. First off, it's shorter. Look how huge the head is. Nobody ever asked for this, wants this for a cut flower, right? What you're looking for is this perfect medium size head, and you're looking for, I'm looking for a stem now. This is, oh, we don't want him. Here, I want this. Look at how long and narrow and skinny that stem is. This is not what you want. It is fat and it's short. You wanna know what the difference between that one and this one is? Spacing. This one was growing on the front corner edge of the bed, so it had 2 sides with no plants on it, and that grew to be a whopper. This would be great in a container, but that's not what we're growing them for. We're growing them for cut flowers. So spacing is everything, and this is the red crane, and the stem length is absolutely amazing. Now, I want to share with you the pest problem with, oh, there he is, with kale. So I don't know if you've ever gotten damage like this. See, somebody's been eating this off. Well, let me introduce you to him. She just showed him to me. Where'd he go, sister? Oh, there he is. All right. Well, we can just pull this stuff off since we're just sacrificing that. There he is, right there. See that green caterpillar? Wait a minute. See him right there? He looks like a really innocent. He will eat this entire head gone in just a couple of days. Now, you know, I've said that for the last 5 to 10 years, we've not used any pesticides, even organic, but there is one organic pesticide that sometimes I just revert to, and I've done it this year for the first time in years, and that is Dipel, which I think Susie has brought it up. This is a powder, and you mix it with water. It is completely safe. The only insects that are affected are those that ingest the foliage that it's sprayed on. That means they have to eat the leaves to be extinguished, right? So it's not like on contact like other pesticides are. And this is the guy. This is the moth that you see flying around. Sometimes they're white, sometimes they're lime green. They're not butterflies, they're moths. And they eat your plants. So you can treat it with this. You mix it into a gallon of water and spray it on. I spray it like once a week during the peak time. And this package will be good for up to 3 years from the time. So once you get it, you're set for 3 years. But if you're going to be a cut flower grower or somebody that grows ornamental kale for cut flowers, you have to have dipel. And that's the fellow that you're trying to take care of. So thank you, Susie. So what else is still, I went out and cut the last of the eucalyptus. This is the silver dollar. There will be no more, I'm pretty sure. And so this is the one that's most commonly known. This is a favorite, y'all. This is the parvula gum. This is the one that has the small leaf. And it's so great to use in filler. It's a little bit darker color. Totally love that. And then this is polyanthemus. And look how different it looks. See how the leaves are different shaped? And it's just really, really cool. I mean, each and every one of them I love. They all grow pretty equally in hardiness. You know me, I don't find one fussier than the other. And y'all, I did go out and cut like the last few of the cosmos. Look at this double click. These are double click cranberries, which are perfect for fall. As you saw Susie Q use, cosmos last so much longer when it's cool outside, y'all. Most of these that we're looking at were actually cut last Monday. I mean, that just tells you how long they will actually last. This is also another double click. It is Rose Bonbon, and she is incredibly voluptuous during the fall season. Really love that. And then the one that I love so much, so this is Rubenza. And this is how it kind of is born. Actually, see how dark that is? This is how it blooms. It gets like this, and then y'all, it turns, oh, here it is. It turns to this like faded color. This one's kind of been wind whipped, but Rubenza is like a stone-washed Cosmo, like a pair of stone-washed blue jeans. This is a great fall Cosmo to grow, and look how big they are. And then here's one that we don't see very often around here because we only grow it in the fall, and that is apricota. Look how pretty that is. That is so very, very pretty. And of course, a favorite of fall, hairy balls, y'all. So this is Gumpacarpus physocarpus, and this is the seed pod that follows the insignificant flower. And if you live in a short, warm season, like if you're up in zone 3 or 4, you probably don't have time to get the seed pods. Those of us in the South that have long seasons, we plant it when we plant tomatoes, but this doesn't happen until late summer, early fall is when this starts to happen. And they are pretty amazing ornamental, as well as I cut them off and just put them like in a glass bowl. It is such a talking point, y'all. People can't keep their hands off of them. So hairy balls are a great flagship of fall. And so Suzanne's breaking the flowers, y'all. This is a snapdragon. This is the snapdragon, but this is a perfect example of a Madam Butterfly. Do you see that there's ruffles? There's additional bloom right in the center. Madam Butterfly, oh my gosh, so many beautiful mixes. And so she's blooming now. Totally love her. And this is Opus, another one that fell down and then grew up. Look how great these stem lengths are out there, y'all. This is the yellow, this is the white. Opus has one of the sturdiest, thickest stems of any snap that I've ever grown. I love Opus because there's a lot of bicolors in the mix too. So that is Opus. And then here's the third one that I grew, and that was Chantilly. These are all from group 1 and 2. And see, Chantilly is special because she doesn't have the chin, you know, the little noggin down here like most snaps. It's an open bloom. Y'all, this has salmon and pale pink colors. It's the first snapdragon to bloom on my farm in spring. And the ones that are blooming now do not overwinter till spring. We planted them in summer to bloom in the fall. And we have a whole nother crop that's planted now for spring blooms. So don't rely on them to do both. Now, we, of course, are still bringing sunflowers in. And this is, oh, actually, let's do the rooster next. This is one of my wreaths, y'all. And so this is what I've been doing with my Flower Farmer Club on our weekly get-together, the Sew-In Circle, is I'm making these grapevine wreaths. I buy the grapevine wreaths, and then I'm using the rooster peppers, which are an amazing high-dollar cash crop, y'all. You can use them green and fresh. You can use them fresh and red. Then we actually make wreaths out of them. How many of these do you think you could sell at a fall harvest type of farmer's market? Rooster peppers are just so useful. Now this is the Sunfill Purple, which we talk about. We grow this for the bud, not the bloom that follows, as filler. Look how pretty that is. This is just a great addition to fall bouquets. And so that is the Sunfill Purple. And then here's his sister, Sunfill Green, and these are opening up. They're older. But here's what they look like. See, they're greener and lighter colored as buds. But they do go on to bloom, and they kind of have a funky looking bloom. The petals are shorter. You can see it's got a green center. But that is the Sunfill Green. I almost think of it as a tropical kind of looking flower. But these are a filler that we grew every week. Then we have the Fall Medley, y'all. That's another Pro Cut mix that we make custom here at the Gardener's Workshop. It includes, I don't have an orange here, but it includes the bicolors, the plum, and I wanted to show you this. Bicolors famously drop their petals prematurely. If you pull all the petals off, look how cool that looks. I mean, people think that, look at the rim, the sepals look like petals. How cool is that? So do not fear if you don't get your bicolors cut in time and they start to drop. Just pull the rest of them off and you have a whole new, make up a name for them, y'all. All right, it's time for us to wrap up, folks. And I'm just looking for, I've made a mess as usual and it's wet. All right, so remember to stick around to the very end for the live Q&A. And remember that those great shipping rates that I quoted you, free for seed packet only and fixed $11.95 on products, is only available here inside the app. And remember that, how pretty is that? I hate to see him even just sitting here. Remember that over on thegardenersworkshop.com, you can find so many resources, y'all. Videos, blogs, both of our podcasts, Field and Garden that I host, Seed Talk with Lisa and Lane. And then also, I want to remind everybody, we're heading into winter, right? It's time to start digging into your resources. And I would love to sign a copy of the Cut Flower Handbook for you. And you know, when you get it from us, it includes a bonus link to a PDF of the 6 flowers that would not fit inside the book, y'all. It is $30 and would love to sign one of those for you. Every question that I get about growing cut flowers is answered in this book. I kid you not. Every single one of them. This is what you need to be hunkering down on this one.
Marks are on the pages that talk about frost dates.
Oh, so Susie has marked. Oh, yeah, here we go. So I have made places in the book that Susie has marked for you to put your frost date information that you gather. And is there another one? Oh, here's another one. Yep.
That was just a short one.
Okay. And so the book has places for you to actually write in what your frost dates are, just to help keep you on track. This book has all the varieties. This book, in companion with the calendar, you'll be set to go, y'all. And then Vegetables Love Flowers, which is not about vegetables, y'all. It's about why vegetables love living in the presence of flowers and doing that with a cut flower garden in it. And chapter 5, when should I plant hardy annuals and why is planting on time so important? And then it also includes some cool season vegetable tips. But all because I'm telling you, my whole gardening, farming world revolves around the first and last frost date. That's just the bottom line. So you'll find a lot of great information, and to help you wrap your head around, there's some great illustrations in here showing a 3-season cutting garden amongst the vegetables. And then, of course, the book that started it all, and that is The Cool Flowers, y'all. If you are just learning about the cool season hardy annuals and that maybe there are plants you can actually plant in fall that survive your winter and you can plant long before your last spring frost, this is the book to start with. Cool Flowers also comes with a free video book study, and we would love to have one with you. And on page 27 is planting time options. This really gives you the basic planting window timelines. This is the first baby step to wrapping your head around bringing this whole big family of who these flowers. We're talking bells of Ireland, sweet peas, snapdragons, poppies, some of the most beloved flowers, y'all. You can learn how to do it. I want to remind everybody that this Wednesday for the Ask a Flower Farmer on Instagram, our 3 o'clock live has a guest host, and it's Gretel Adams of Sunny Meadows. And she, along with her husband Steve, are the instructors and longtime seasoned flower farmers. They're growing cut flower crops in hoop and greenhouses. So y'all please show up to 3 o'clock Instagram on Wednesday and show Gretel some love and bring, questions. They grow everything. And bring her your questions. And remember to meet me back here next Friday, same time, same place. And remember, Wednesdays at 8 p.m., I do a live show, and turn your notifications on because I do pop-ups from now and then, and those are unscheduled. So don't forget tomorrow night is the last night to take advantage of the Farmer Florist course being on special offer, and you'll find that over at thegardenersworkshop.com. And now we have a winner, and I am pretty sure I will not be able to say your last name. So everybody that's got a simple last name, you know it's not you, right? All right, friends, we have a winner of our $25 in-app credit, and it is Ivy Tungsvik. Ivy Tunsvik. If you are here, Ivy, sorry if I killed your name. You are the winner of a $25 store credit. And the minute you give us a yell out in the comments, the girls will drop $25 right into your cart, right? All right, friends, remember to stick around because now is our Q&A. All right, let's see here.
She's here.
Oh, Ivy's here. Congratulations, Ivy. The girls are dropping $25. Who's doing that since Jessie isn't doing it? So somebody's putting it in your cart right now or in a few minutes.
After the show's done, I'll get it.
Okay, it'll take about 10 or 15 minutes and it'll be in your cart, Ivy. All right, I have direct sewed bachelor buttons. Should I thin now or wait until I see what comes back in very early spring? Okay, so typically, I don't know where you are, but I'm assuming bachelor buttons survive your winter. And I thin in very early spring, and they don't die down in the winter. That little foliage stays up out there and just takes it like a champ, right? So I thin like when growth restarts in very early spring, and that's when we thin and weed and all that stuff.
I just said her last name.
Oh, good. I'm glad, Ivy. That's not my strong suit, is sounding out words. I have left plants in trays for over 5 weeks and they seem to be root bound and stop growing. Yours don't seem to do that. Any input as to why? Well, that could be a lot of different things. That could be the soil, the particular plant, the growing conditions, and root bound. Root bound means that they're growing in circles, and that's really hard to do in soil blocks, but they will definitely grow into the neighboring blocks, and I just break them apart, and that just prunes their roots. And I try not to do that, that we try to get stuff planted in a timely manner. That's a big part of why my stems get so big and my flowers grow so tall, all of that. I'm in 7A. Is it too late to start cool flowers? We've already had our first frost. So 7A only tells you what is possible to fall plant, meaning what would survive your winter. It's your frost dates that dictate when you actually plant. And I would say if you've already had your first frost, you've missed the first opportunity. But the second opportunity for 7A will be coming up before long, and that is very early spring. So I'm going to guess for 7A, my last spring frost is mid-April. I'm going to guess yours is the 1st of May. That means that you would be planting the 1st of March to mid-March, which means right after the holidays, you need to start starting seeds. Can you paint hairy balls? Well, sure, but I don't know how long they'll last that way. That would definitely just be an experiment. I'm in zone 4B. Any tricks you've got for me for cool annuals? So we have a lot of people in zone 3 and 4 through the years that have just reached out to us of all kinds of crazy things that they have tried. And so what that means that they live really north and that their growing season is short. Their warm season growing season is shorter. First off, with cool season annuals, you can probably grow them all summer, I would guess, if you don't get hot and humid. Okay. And definitely still in the fall, which is probably too late for you already, to get beds prepared, to plant as early as you can access your gardens. I don't know what kind of snow load you carry during the winter, but I've heard all kinds of crazy things. People that carry heavy snow load in the winter prepare their beds in fall, their fall, not my fall, and then they cover the beds with silage tarps. Then they shovel feet of snow off. And then when they get the snow down, they put another silage tarp on top of it for solarization to help melt the snow. That's now sandwiched between two silage tarps, because cool season hardy annuals can go into the ground so much earlier than any warm season annual can. That is your big ticket. It's not fall planting. And so hopefully that's the key, is to figure out some kind of imaginative way to get your cool flowers in the ground up to 6 to 8 weeks, but you might not get that, but it certainly is earlier than you're going to put a warm season tender annual in the ground. Okay, can dipel be used on cabbage we eat? Yes, that's what it was actually intended for. It is an OMRI certified. That means it's certified organic. It has the instructions, right? Just read it on there. BT is the strand of biological insecticide, I guess you call it. It's the same stuff we put in bird baths to kill mosquito larvae. It's called mosquito bets. There's all different kinds of strands of BT. They target different creatures. And it's the same thing. I mean, pets can drink it. If your kid ate it, they don't get sick and all that stuff. But read the label. But yes, you can use dipel on food crops. In the calendar workshop, will you be sharing when you start things year round? I don't really start things year round. If you mean seed starting, yes, we're going to go through all 9 of the planting windows. And it depends on where you are in your frost dates. And that's why I'm doing the workshop. I know that there are just so many question marks in people's minds about all of this. And so it is going to turn you into a 3-season flower farmer and home gardener. And so one of the things that's on the calendar, there's a QR code, and that QR code gives you the PDF download to my seed starting worksheet. This is like 7 pages long. These are like my 65 favorite cut flowers to grow. And it has all the information that you need to sit down with your calendar after you have figured out your 9 planting windows, which we're going to do together in the workshop. Then this is going to take you to how to figure out when you're supposed to start that seed. You're going to need to have everything you need. You're going to turn into like a wild people, just like I am. What do you think got me to be such a big flower farmer, y'all? Once you figure all this mess out, it is so easy and basic, and that calendar is going to do it for you. So thanks for asking that question. All right, my friends, we're going to wrap it up, and thanks for joining me here today. And until we meet again, my friends, ciao.